Digital transformation is happening the world over, and it's important to really get in touch with what's happening in the local market. So we've brought the Digital Transformation Series here to the Middle East to really understand the needs of the local operators. And what we see happening here in the Middle East is a lot of opportunity when it comes to 5G, when it comes to new technologies, because there's such a drive from government, from private business, and from companies to really embrace that transformation, and so much opportunity to really transform the happiness of lives of citizens here in Dubai and across the region, and a real determination to do just that. By bringing people together to talk about the challenges of making that leap, we can really unlock the opportunities and the value of what happens when we bring those conversations out and when we start to bring people together to collaborate. So digital transformation is all about collaboration, and this event is all about bringing the region together to do just that. So I think the challenges here are similar to those challenges we see the world over right now for telecoms operators. They really come down to how you get past the agility challenge and how you really embrace what needs to be a change in the way of working, simplifying and automating business processes, and really unlocking the intelligence that exists within the data within your business. Those challenges are no different here to elsewhere. What we see in the region is a focused determination, and I think the business drivers in terms of some of the opportunities around 5G, around growth, to really make it worthwhile making exactly that change. So from what we've seen so far here in the region and throughout the conference this week, there's a big focus on executing digital transformation. We're not just talking about doing it anymore. Companies are really in the middle of making that change, and that change starts with people and the way in which they're starting to think about the design of teams and ways that companies work. And we can see that really underway with the presentations we've heard here. And what's exciting about the region is the focus on really getting that done, and the determination to then use that capability to change the region, to change the economics of the region, and to change and unlock new opportunities to really transform life here. I think what's unique about the Middle East, and it's one of only a few regions where we can see this, is you've got the alignment between the goals of government, the opportunities and the recognition that 5G can really unlock digitization of everything, and the operators in the region who are keen to deliver those services, to provide the necessary spectrum, to provide the necessary business environment, and the collaboration between private enterprise and government to make that happen. We've also got a burgeoning sector here on terms of science and development here, which has really been embraced over the last decade, which means we've got some of the finest minds in the world working on the uses of these technologies. And as we approach things like the Expo 2020 here in Dubai, there's a real determination to push the whole region forward. If we compare that to other regions of the world, we're just not seeing that level of alignment. It takes time for the political systems in some parts of the world to really line up with private enterprise, and so inevitably they're moving slower in terms of their development. So Middle East, along with areas like China and the US, are some of the regions we can see really forging ahead when it comes to 5G. Well, we think it's very much a case of co-opetition when it comes to hyperscalers. Some are going to want to partner. We've got to remember that the lifeblood of being a hyperscaler, what enables them to do the hyperscaling we talk about, is the connectivity that they offer. So we have to be able to really recognise that we can work with them and we can actually collaborate with them, and that the telecom community is an important part of enabling those companies. But if we do not move fast enough to collaborate with them and partner with them, there's business opportunities for them as well. So I think, like any industry, they have great potential to work with us, but we need to really focus on how we can learn how to partner with them, and that means bring the best of both worlds together. The drive that we see from Facebook's TIP project into working on how we can really reduce the cost of telecoms infrastructure, because what enables hyperscalers to be successful is the connectivity that the telecom industry has provided for so many years. We do see a lot of more competitive moves in the space, and we can start to look at some of the moves, and there's areas of competition, of course, but we also have to look at where we can work together and collaborate, and that's really what we're focused on doing in TM Forum, is bringing together those two worlds to help us collaborate and unlock new value for both industries. I think this is the challenge that we have to recognise, is that if different operators around the world are not able to service different industries well enough, those industries will find their own path. Every industry is going through the process of digitalisation, and we're starting to see that in the US with the big major sports leagues. On one hand, you can say maybe they don't understand the complexity of what they're getting into and the costs of running those kind of networks. On the other hand, you have to ask, why is it necessary for them to really take that step? Why can't they get those capabilities from their operators? And what we find in many cases is there's a lack of flexibility and a lack of agility to deal with the needs of different customers. When it comes to 5G and what we'll see in the build out of networks around that, which is where we can see a lot of enterprises getting a lot more serious about owning the connectivity piece themselves, there's a desire to really have end-to-end control. And if they can't get that from their operators and they don't feel they can partner with them to achieve that, they're going to go their own way. So to me, it's a bit of a wake-up call to the industry that agility and the need to really understand the customer's needs when it comes to B2B is going to be really key to success in monetizing 5G.